Welcome everyone who's decided to stop by this channel. It's a little bit of a windy, dull day today. I'm hoping that the muffler on the camera is going to be able to drown out some of the wind. These are some of the things that you will have to put up with, try to manage when you're out doing graffiti art, because often it's in a public space. It's out in the open and often you're not shielded from the weather. This is one of my graffiti tutorials for those who are new to graffiti, who are maybe just starting out. Some tips to get you started. Today is all about the very basic fundamental of graffiti art, and that's the graffiti tag. I'm going to be using two different brands of paint, two of my favourites, Cobra in the old style of tin. They just recently changed the branding, and Flame Blue, which is my favourite paint. Both of these are relatively cheap compared to some of the other brands, and the reasons that I decided to use these two paints in particular is that they work well together. And also with the Flame Blue, for me as an artist who likes to get very neat lines, Flame Blue with a skinny cap on tends to give me the lines that I'm after for outlining the whole piece. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut to B-roll, and I'm going to show some of the caps that I'm going to demonstrate with today for putting up the basic graffiti tag, which is in essence a name that you've created for yourself. Sometimes people use their own name or a nickname that they have, but often what people do is create an alter ego and come up with some kind of word that sometimes has meaning behind it and sometimes it doesn't. It's just a random word that a person happens to like. Whatever it is that you choose, when you're tagging graffiti, basically you're tagging your name, the name you created for yourself, and you're putting it up for other people to see. When I cut the B-roll, I'll demonstrate some of the caps, then I'm going to get the camera up close to the wall and I'm going to put on some tags using my own tag, which is Yahweh, and then give a little bit of an explanation as to what the cap is, what I intend to do with it, or the effect that you are likely to get if you use these different caps. Down on the floor you can see a selection of caps that I brought with us today. I'm going to pick each one up and give a little explanation as to what they usually do when you put them on a tin of paint. Sometimes you get different results depending on how much pressure you apply and what type of techniques you work with. Generally these days most caps are universal. You can put them on just about any brand of paint and get pretty much the same type of result each time that you use them, regardless of what type of paint you're putting them on. So we'll start off with some of the standard caps that you'll get on most tins when you buy them new. These are the universal caps that, for me personally, I've never got any enjoyment out of using, even going all the way back in the days of the old Montana paint that used to come with these stock caps. They're usually just stock caps. They can be decent for colouring in large areas, and that's about it. Some people use them as skinny caps. I've never been able to get consistent skinny lines with these ones. I have also a red one which is pretty much the same. Those are the stock caps for Cobra. Then we've got one of my favourite caps, which is the MTN Montana level 1 green cap. These ones, for me personally, I find them to be quite adaptable. You can use them for filling in, you can use them for outlining as well. They tend to work better for outlining when you've used the cap for a little while. Moving on to one of my favourite caps. This is my favourite outlining cap. This is an MTN beige skinny cap. For me, these are the perfect caps for outlining a piece. And if you want to do tags with skinny lines with some detail to them, these are the caps to use. The next one is more of a specialised cap. This one is similar to the black cap, which is a calligraphy cap. The black cap only works in one direction. The pink one, it's going to be difficult to show you how you can adapt it whilst I'm using one hand. But that little pink nozzle there, you can basically turn it so that it is sideways and it will give you a different flow. Then we've got another standard stock cap. These tend to come on belt-on tins. This is a blue dot soft cap. For me, this is one of the fastest ways to fill in, and can also be used to create nice fades so that colours tend to blend into each other without the naked eye being able to tell that there's a difference there between the two colours. And that's it for the selection of caps that I've got today. I'm going to go back to the camera, and then I'm going to put up some tags and show you the basics of putting up a tag. So the plan here, after I've given the tin a little bit of a shake, is to do some standard tags using my tag Yahweh. I'm going to start off with a light colour using a skinny cap, skinny beige. Just give it a few pumps just to get the paint flowing, and then I'll move on to a fat cap. There is one cap that I forgot that was trapped in my pocket. It's a fat cap. I'll show that one when it comes time to using that one. It's a little bit hard to see when I'm going over the piece that I put up at the beginning of 2004. It might be a little bit more obvious once I start to use some of the darker colours, some of the fatter caps that I have. One thing that I'll point out is try not to go over anybody else's piece in this manner, because this is mine and it's an old one that somebody's been throwing bricks at. I don't mind for the sake of demonstration today. So the one that I forgot, orange dot fat cap, darker colour. Just give it a few pumps to get it going. You should be able to see the difference almost immediately. I'll have to go into a lighter part of this graffiti piece. It's not the fattest. I would say that's probably more of a medium width. Next up, I'm going to go with MTN level 1. This one, depending on whether or not you've been using this for a while, will either give you, I would say, just under the width of the one that you've just seen, or skinny, and again it'll depend on pressure, it'll depend on how close to the wall you are as well. Hopefully these are going to start to stand out a little bit more as I go over the dark colours with the light and the light with the dark, etc. Just for the sake of demonstration, I'm only using the shortened version of my tag, which is yeah. Next up, I'm going to go with the blue dot soft cap, standard on belt on. It's similar to a fat cap depending on how close to the wall you are. But you can see it's got a much more fuzzy, soft effect. Very similar colour here, so it's going to be hard to see what I'm doing sometimes. The next time, for the sake of demonstration, I should maybe take a blank bit of wall or paint a bit of wall to put the tags on. It's all learning when I'm doing these videos as well. I'm still learning, even years after first starting graffiti art myself. On top of the Cobra, standard stock red Cobra cap. This one is quite a dusty one, very similar to the soft caps. I think, to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I've never enjoyed painting with these. You don't really get a complete line. You've got to get up right close to the wall in order to get a full line. I'm not going to bother with the other standard universal cap. It's pretty much the same. Just trying to make sure that I don't miss anything out. Let's go with the calligraphy caps. So what I'll do is I'll show the black one, and then I'll change the direction on the one with the pink nib and show the flow in the opposite direction. I've seen people paint with the calligraphy caps. Usually they'll have two tins close to each other to get that calligraphy effect. They're not caps that I use. Sometimes I buy certain caps just to test them out, and I have these ideas in my head that I might one day get around to using them, but I haven't so far. So this is going to be quite a wide line of spray. What I'll do, just to make that stand out a little more, I'll do it with this colour as well. There we go. I think for the next demonstration, what I'll do is I'll create a little brown space so that the next tag stands out a little bit more. That's with a soft cap. As you can see, you can fill in pretty quickly, as I said. In another video, I'll give a demonstration on what type of lines you can get with these caps, rather than just the tags that you can create. Calligraphy cap. This time I'm going to turn and show what happens in the opposite direction. So we're just switching the flow of the paint. Helps if I use the dark colour. It's actually really nice. So also realising that there might be a mirror effect with the way that I'm painting here today. Bear with us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a dark space, and then I'm going to put up some random tags with some of the caps that I've already used, just to give a clearer demonstration of what it is that I've been doing. One of the things that you could do with these caps is fill in really quick as well. I'm just going to switch back to the two caps that I use the most. Skinny Beige, Level 1 Green MTN. This time I'll do my full tag in the way that I would sign off a piece. I'll do a little close up once it's done. Very similar. That's the basics of a graffiti tag. It's usually the place where most graffiti writers start in their graffiti career. They pick a tag, a name, an alter ego, they start putting that tag up wherever it is that they want to put it up. And what happens over time is that that tag starts to develop its own hand style. It becomes a unique signature for the person that is writing it, but also it becomes a unique identifier for other graffiti artists. Once you become familiar with different people's tags, you'll be able to spot them a mile off. You'll be on a train passing a wall at lightning speed and you'll see somebody's tag and you'll know exactly who it is. You'll be standing on a bridge looking down below and the same I'm losing my breath a little bit. The same thing will happen. You'll be able to spot it a mile off. Okay, let's do one more demonstration. We'll do fat caps this time and then we'll leave it at that for today. Just quickly going back to the two tins, Cobra and Flame Blue. One of the reasons I like these tins is because they're not reactive. When you use them together, you'll be able to see on the wall that there's nothing happening there as I'm coating over the paint. If I was using, say for example, Montana Gold with Flame Blue, I've noticed that there's a reaction which creates what looks like a tear when one paint is layered over the other one. So it looks as though your piece is falling apart, and obviously you don't want that to happen. Back to the orange dot fat cap for one final tag. Thanks for stopping by and watching.